Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Vinnie Eastwood Show. The show that you can talk about whatever the heck you want to talk about. And the show that we don't ask you the questions repeatedly of what you don't want to talk about, of course, because, you know, we just want to help you to chill out, relax, because all the people that we have on here, their life is stressful enough without some douchebag reporter or something like that coming up to them asking stupid questions. Like, the Ron Paul incidents come to mind. You know how, like, back in the 70s or something, there was some douchebag who put in some racist KKK-ish type comments in a Ron Paul newsletter and sent it out. Ron Paul didn't even know about it, and the media's still bringing it up time after time, like every single airhead TVNZ blonde that they managed to get working for them with the perfect teeth and the cosmetically capped TV anchor front teeth, you know, come up to you asking these stupid questions, bringing up old stuff that doesn't matter no more. Is that the media that we should rely on to inform us about stuff? No. And I certainly hope nobody in the truth movement ever starts getting into that type of habitual cycle, because it wastes time. When you have activists who's basically, well, we're all of our lives are under threat just in a very general way. But some people, particularly those with access to specific information and can give first-hand insight, whistleblowers essentially, those kind of people, giving them platforms is, I think, one of the most noble efforts that people can do. And anybody who does it should be applauded. But of course, the problem with getting whistleblowers on is that you also really do have to listen to them and think quite a bit and figure out what kind of questions to go for, what not to, because there's certain things they can and can't say. And everybody should understand that, because I can't say it, because I would go into a hole somewhere. And that hole would also then disappear along with me in it. You know, it's not like I'm going to tell somebody that I'm cheating on my wife or something of that nature, and my marriage might end, you know, that kind of trauma. It's I disappear kind of trauma that they avoid here. So, you know, I think some people don't seem particularly cognizant of that, and they just want all the information coming out right here, right now, and all. It's a bad move, I think. You know, just relax, and everything that you get to hear, be grateful for it, because at least you got to hear it. That's my opinion, anyway. Bill Wood is my guest. Welcome back.
Thank you again.
We were talking over the break about this previous interview that you had, and I was kind of summed it up just here now. Now, I wanted to know from your personal experience, you know, that kind of thing. Just what's your actual background like? Where did you grow up, and who your parents are, that kind of thing.
I grew up in a town called Ogden, Utah. It's about 45 minutes north of Salt Lake City, if you know it on the map. And basically spent my entire life growing up there until I was 19. Lived with my mom primarily. My dad lived in Salt Lake and didn't see him much. He ended up passing away while I was in the military, so never really had a big relationship with him. My mom is still alive, living in a cabin in the middle of nowhere, Utah. And, you know, that was a great life growing up. After I joined the military, life got a lot more interesting. I had a uncle that ended up being very high up in the enlisted ranks in the Navy. So when I was 19, I decided to join for, you know, what most people join the military for, lack of job opportunities and lack of money for college. And so, you know, took that opportunity, went into the military, and ended up getting involved in some very advanced training schools, and then from there I was offered the opportunity to serve my country in a very covert and highly secure way, and ended up driving Tomahawk missiles for a living. And when I figured out that dropping bombs on people's heads that didn't need to be bombed and tried to rebel against that, I got smacked on the hand pretty hard by the military and was given a wonderful offer to go back to work or go to jail. So, I chose go back to work. And for another 3 years, I hated myself for what I was doing, but continued to fly the Tomahawks into what I knew were soft targets and small villages and non-military relevant targets all along the way, knowing what it was doing to the countries that I was operating in, and the people that were left alive told their stories, and we created a very hostile environment towards America against ourselves by doing that. After I got out of the military, 3 months later, planes start slamming into buildings called the World Trade Center, and I'm one of the only people on the planet going, I know exactly what that's all about. So, needless to say, I was a little freaked out by that. Kept my head down for a while until I saw that the military and the corporate military were getting so far out of hand that they were doing this stuff pretty much in the open, and nobody really cared. And along the way, we've basically given up as a society most of our God-given rights. And it got to the point where my life was under attack so much for kind of trying to show people the truth that I felt like it was time for a change, and I stepped up and started to speak out, and again got slapped pretty hard over and over again to try and shut me up. But this time I learned my lesson, and I've yet to take the deal. So I'll just continue to speak louder each time somebody comes after me. So keep coming after me, and I'll keep talking louder. And the attacks have, ironically enough, just given me more and more credibility as to what I'm saying. So I find it very ironic that the government and corporate powers that want to shut me up are ending up kind of facilitating my efforts.
So what's your take on SEAL Team 6, the guys who went in to allegedly get the long-dead Osama bin Laden, and then, dump his body in the ocean? I don't know, in the criminal realm, I think that's referred to as disposing of the evidence. And and then, magically, the whole SEAL Team 6 pretty much dies in a helicopter accident, right? In a helicopter that was overloaded beyond regulations.
This is the funny thing, is the critically important pieces of information about this SEAL Team 6 thing. Number one, SEAL Team 6 didn't exist before Osama bin Laden, got shot.
Of course.
It was publicly denied by the U.S. military that there was a SEAL Team 6 up until this point. Number two, it's very clear that one of the helicopters on that mission crashed. You can see the nice stealthy tail rotor of the 53 that crashed. The Afghanis were nice enough, or Pakistanis were nice enough to sell the pieces back to China. But I can tell you one thing, from the pieces that you see in the photographs, that was not a survivable helicopter accident. Yet nobody died in the raid. Fishy. Then we proceed on to the raid where SEAL Team 6, quote unquote, goes in, captures Osama bin Laden, then kills him, then without documenting a thing. No video, no cameras, nothing. Pretty much against protocol, because if there's one thing I can say about the SEALs is that on missions you document everything. You take pictures of everyone you kill, so they can go back and say, "Yep, okay, we got this bad guy or we got that bad guy." And video cameras are pretty much attached to everybody's helmets. So it's funny that we have no record of any of this. And then, you pointed out the other obvious point that we managed to dispose of the body of the supposed most dangerous person in the world without any verification that that's who it was. All very interesting stuff. And, about as fishy as 9/11. But the thing that really gets to me, and we'll flash back to Charlie Wilson's war, the thing that turned the war around against the Soviets back in the early 80s was surface-to-air missiles. And amazingly enough, against standard operating procedure, 22 SEALs got on the same helicopter. Single CH-47.
How many SEALs per chopper is there supposed to be?
One team, 4 people. Well, so if one gets shot down, you don't lose,
the whole
22 SEALs. And
because they're worth about $1 million each just to train them, isn't it?
Oh, if it was only that easy, SEAL Team 6 are the most highly qualified individuals, so their value in monetary figures broaches into the infinities as far as assets. But
as in they're not expendable.
As I learned in the military. Oh, no, you can't just replace somebody that's in the most highly trained military unit in the world. But you certainly can't take a loss of 22. It would cripple the SEAL team community. And, besides the 22 SEALs, there was a total of 38 people on the helicopter. And I don't know if that includes crew, but if it's pilot, co-pilot, and air crew, that brings the number up to 41. That's way above, say, flying payload limits for 47. So the whole story stinks. And based on what was done to me, it's pretty obvious that there were some major holes in the story of the Osama bin Laden capture. And I think I could reasonably assert that killing all those people, whether it was the Pakistanis or, one of our trained, Al-Qaeda operatives. But here's what I know. They managed to find the one helicopter with the most valuable assets in the entire country since we invaded Afghanistan in one helicopter and shoot it down with quote unquote an RPG. Yeah, no. If you want to try to shoot down a helicopter with an RPG, go ahead and make the same effort trying to take down a 747 with a BB gun. It ain't gonna happen. They don't fly straight. They're not effective beyond 30 feet. The only way to hit them is if they're hovering. So the whole story stinks. And moreover, everybody left in the Special Forces community is now rocked because let's just say if anybody was going to come out and reveal some information, that little incident shut everybody up real quick. So it's just a perpetuation of the biggest cover-up of all time, which is why the biggest cover-up of all time is now falling apart and the information's coming out, and why I believe the mass arrests are just around the corner, because there's more information than you can print on every piece of paper in the world that documents these crimes.
Now, aren't these missions and everything supposed to be kept secret? Like, if secret missions and whatever are taking place as the Osama bin Laden would be, all the details of that would be kept under wraps. And on top of that, even if the people died or whatever, the details of how they died, where they died, and the situations and everything, wouldn't that be kept under wraps too?
Or we'd be fed a completely BS story about what happened and why. And everybody that died in that incident died in a completely different manner, and we'll never know what happened. Just going to throw that out there.
Right.
Not that our government would ever lie to us, because they just don't do that.
Oh, I've never seen a documented case where the government's lied to anybody. You'll see the Vinny Eastwood show. I was joking, of course. We're talking with Bill Wood, and we'll be right back after the break at the VinnyEastwoodShow.com. You can join us in the chat room. In the second hour, we'll be taking callers, so get your phones ready. Back in a minute. Do you realise every day we are being put under constant stress from wireless radiation? What's worse is that you don't even know that it's happening. It puts as much stress on our body as if we had a constant viral infection, draining our energy and sapping our strength, or just making us irritable and fatigued. These wireless fields are being emitted from computers, microwaves, mobile phones, power lines, and any electrical appliance. Now there is a solution. A group of research engineers in New Zealand have come up with an active shielding device that shields you from wireless radiation at a cellular level. Blue Shield comes in 3 models, a household, portable, and USB that plugs into any computer. The great thing about Blue Shield is it is very affordable and guaranteed to last. A one-off purchase will see you being protected for years to come. Visit AmericanFreedomRadio.com and click on the Blue Shield banner. Blue Shield, brought to you by the VinnyEastwoodShow.com.